So hello viewers, my name is Dan Shamram Siwak. I'm a research technician here at NARI, National Horticulture Research and Extension Institute. And today I would like to share a special technique with you guys called air layering. So as we all know, we propagate plants by seeds. But the thing is with seeds, they take long to produce fruit, right? So we have to do different propagation techniques such as cuttings, budding, grafting, and air layering, right? So what makes air layering different from these other techniques is that air layering, we make a cut on the tree, put some soil, and that remains on the tree. Like a cuttings, you just cut it off and you remove it, but the air layering stays on the tree, fed by the tree, and it produces root there. So when you cut it off, you have a new plant, right? And that plant is called a clone or copy of the original tree. So if you have a very sweet fruit like rambutan or pomegranate, cherry, whatever it is, you can do air layering on it. You copy that. You have a bearing plant also. It bears immediately, right? Within 6 months you'll have fruits right away. And you can multiply, right? If you have a very sweet cherry tree, you can make 100 copies of that cherry tree, right? So it's very gives you a faster way to get a new plant. And if you're like going to cut a limb, you can do air layering on it and then cut it out. You have a new plant instead of just chopping out a limb, especially for farmers who have fruit trees and stuff like that. You can also do it on your ornamental plants also, right? Bougainvillea, oleander, you just cut the plant, as we will show you later on in the video, the proper procedure. So to do your air layering, you'll need some specific items, right? And these are the items here, so I'm going to go through them. These are essential. So firstly, you need some kind of insecticide, because sometimes you go to a tree, a fruit tree, there might be some, in Guyana we say marabunta and falami or bees or something, so you have to protect yourself, so you need some kind of insecticide. You also need some secateurs. This is some cutting shears, and you can get these anywhere, any hardware store. And you're going to use this to clear the branches so you can make a nice clean cut, you know, remove all the branches you don't want. And you also need a knife. You can use a household knife, or we have a budding knife here. And these you have to disinfect, because if you don't disinfect them, we have sanitizer here. You could use bleach also. We need to disinfect them because you can spread disease by cutting the plants if your tools are not properly disinfected, right? So after we make the cuts and stuff, we'll need rooting powder. So we have some Hormex rooting powder here, number 8, and this is for hard woody plants. So when you make the cut, you're gonna apply some of the rooting powder with a brush, or directly with your hands. You can apply it, right? You also need some kind of plastic, right? Here we have some. This is budding tape. You can use just a plastic bag, cut it, and you need the scissors also to cut. You need some cable ties, the cable straps, and you'll need soil. You'll need some kind of soil to put around the air layer, right? So here we have, this is coconut coir. This is Nari's sow mix, and it's mixed with a little bit vermis compost, which is cow dung, and a little bit of the nursery media. And at the end, you're going to need some aluminum foil, and also you need a syringe, right? A big one like this. And why we'll need this, after some time, it's going to be there for a while, at least 4 to 6 weeks or even 2 months. So you're gonna, after 2 weeks, you're gonna have to top up the water. You're gonna add some more moisture there because it kind of dries out. It needs to be moist for the roots to form there. So you're gonna need this syringe to go and put a little bit water inside. You just pull up some water and clean distilled water, and you squirt it inside. Not too much, enough to keep it moist. So these are some of the items. Now we're going to go into the fields and we're going to do some pomegranates. All right, we're going to do some pomegranates. We selected a nice tree, and we're going to do a demonstration showing you how the actual procedure works. So let's go into that. So hello viewer, once again, continuing with our air layering technique. So now we've decided to do an air layer on this pomegranate tree. And as we mentioned, it's a propagation technique, right? So for us, this tree, why we're selecting this tree? Because it has a nice fruit and we want to copy that fruit, right? So we have our tools here. You see like a branch about, that's about ½ inch thickness. And it should be a branch that's coming off of the tree. Nice. It's straight, because when you air layer it, you're going to cut here, and this is going to be the new plant. So you need a straight branch, and you're going to make an incision here. Now we have our tools. The first thing to do is to sterilize the tools, and we're using sanitizer here to sterilize the cutting tools to prevent spread of disease on the plant, right? So firstly, I'm going to remove the excessive vegetation here to give us our room to work with, so you could see where you're working, right? So we're going to make the incision here. So Mr. Lakeram will continue now making the incision. He's going to cut the bark around, right away around. He's going to make like about 1.5 inches separation. Right, both sides cut around the bark completely. Right, and we want to remove the bark. And you see there's a layer below there. That's called a cambium layer. And after removing the bark, now we're going to scrape that area. Alright, so he's going to remove the entire bark, and then he's going to scrape it to remove the cambium layer. Because if you don't scrape it properly, the bark will regrow and the roots will not form. Right, so we're trying to induce the plant to produce roots here. So we're scraping out the cambium layer so that the food that's going down from the leaf, it does not go down anymore. It used to go down in this layer here. So we're going to scrape right away around, and we have some distilled water here. We're just going to wash it out, because the cambium layer, you want to remove it completely, because if it remains and you do the air layer, it will regrow the bark, so you will not get any roots, and the tree will just continue to grow. So we wash the air layer there now, and we're going to apply our rooting powder. All right, this is the Hormex rooting powder 8, and we're going to apply it to the top part here of the cut. The roots are going to produce at this point here, so we're going to apply the rooting powder all over the area there. Right, make sure you apply it all around. Good. So now we have our soil here, and we're going to use the plastic which we had. We have our soil, which is the Nari soil mix with a little bit of compost, and mix with water, not too wet, not too dry, just enough. And we have also our cable strap. So this is the technique now. We're going to wrap it using the soil, wrap it around the area there. Make sure you don't wipe out the powder. Keep it stable, don't try to roll it around. And you're going to wrap the plastic around, and then we're going to secure it with the cable strap. So it's going to be tight around there, so that when the roots form, the roots will start to use the soil. So we're going to strap now using the cable strap. You want to strap it tightly so the soil is holding and the water stays in also. Now, to make sure that the roots form properly, we're going to use some aluminum foil. We're going to use some aluminum foil to wrap around so that there's darkness so the roots can form. And we're going to leave this now for about 4 to 6 weeks, right? Almost a month and a half sometimes, or sometimes 2 months. But we'll check it in a month. And sometimes when we check it, we're going to use a syringe. We have a syringe, and we're going to take some of the distilled water, and we'll just, like, after a month, if the no roots are there, we're going to take a syringe and inject some water inside of the bag, because it's a long time the water will evaporate. If there's no water, you're not going to be able, it's not going to survive. The roots need water. So like after like 1 month, so we have a syringe here, a normal syringe you get from the pharmacy, and you're going to take your syringe and add your distilled water, and we're just going to add some water, but not right away. After around after you check it, like after a month, and you see it's dry, you're just going to take your syringe and just insert and just apply a little bit of the water, just water it, and keep waiting for the roots to form. You can remove the foil, you're going to see the roots. We're going to check our air layers now. So this is a previous air layer we did, about 6 weeks ago, and we're going to check them. So you have now, you could see here on the branch through the bag here, you can see that how the roots have formed inside, and we wait till the roots have formed around. If you look here also, another one is here. There's a lot of roots have been formed there. You can see the white roots. So these are ready to cut now. These are ready to cut and pot. We're going to put them in a pot. This is the next stage of it, that it has to be put in a pot to grow up. Right, so we're going to cut them now, and just below where we put the bag, we're going to cut. And you have an ear layer plant here with your fruits and everything attached, and the roots. We're going to plant this now in the pot. So viewers, after cutting our air layer limb from the mother plant, the roots have been formed properly and in the bag here, but these roots are not strong enough, right? So we have to repot it now in a container. We have an oil jar here, and we have put soil, some media here. We have some filter press, paddy shell, and some sand, and we're going to cut this open now, and we're going to show you the proper planting technique, so that your air layer plant now, the roots are going to develop more, because these roots are not feeding roots as yet. We induce it to root, but when it goes in there now, the roots will become stronger. So when you plant it in the ground, it will be a stronger plant. So Mr. Lakram will demonstrate this by cutting. So we're just going to cut off the cable straps from the ear layer and remove the plastic. So when you remove the plastic now, you're going to see the roots here, how the roots are white and growing there. You're going to be very careful not to damage your roots, right? And you're going to dig the hole, be very careful, make it deep enough, not too deep. And you're going to place as it is, the plant with the roots inside the soil, and careful not to shift it, so you're going to break the roots. And you're going to, around now, you're going to pack in back your soil and also squeeze it around. So the soil is very close to the roots, and the water now can transfer there, and the roots are going to spread out in search of water to supply the leaves and branches of this plant. So usually we cut off some of the branches here, but this plant will survive. It has a lot of roots, and we're going to leave it. It's already fruit in here, right? So here you have your aerial plants. It's a new tree, it's a copy, and you can do 100 of these from one plant. You could fill your orchard. You could do cherry, fruit trees, crotons, whatever you like. You can do air layering with, and it's a fast technique, but it takes time. As we saw, it takes about 6 weeks to root. You keep checking it though, and keep moistening it with your syringe, and when you see the roots are formed enough, you just cut it, transplant it, and you have your new plant. Thank you all very much, and thank you for viewing, and you can practice this on your own. If you need more information, you can find it on our website.